I got involved because you asked me what I thought of it. Of this was climbing Mount Katan, but there was a lot more to it than just climbing Mount Katan. There was actually um, other people involved that could benefit from that type of movement or that type of adventure, uh, be it inspirational or motivational. But one or the other was going to get other people involved. And I'm looking back now; it's been a couple of years, and it's obvious that you see how many people are actually getting involved and getting motivated and inspired, and they're doing this. So, um, how did I get involved? By you asking. And why did I get involved? It's very simple. It's something I could do to help. So why not? I did what I thought I could do. I'm always up to a challenge, um, and if I don't challenge myself, how can I inspire others to challenge themselves? So this is one way. The Beyond Limits movement is allowing people to challenge themselves and to motivate and inspire them to do things that they otherwise would think they can't do. So that's why I got involved. And I hate to say it, Jackie, but you're to blame for my involvement.
Okay, I'm the one who's corrupted you. Okay.
Mm.
Um, so you touched upon this somewhat. So what would you say Beyond Limits is about? 'Cause sometimes people talk about, well, it's about a hike, and I always say, well, it's really not about a hike. I mean, that's my interpretation. So what would you say it is about? What does it mean?
Beyond Limits. Well, very simple.
Or it can be complicated, but yeah.
Yeah, it can be complicated.
Yeah.
But to me, the simple interpretation of Beyond Limits is taking your comfort zone and stretching it out. And your comfort zone could be in your situation in a wheelchair and be very content with that, or somebody with crutches, somebody with prosthetics, being very comfortable with, I'm thankful this is where I'm at. Uh, Beyond Limits is saying, don't be happy with where you're at because you can actually go a little bit further if you motivate yourself and take it further and inspire others, and then it becomes a snowball effect. And I think we need a lot of these snowball effects, and Beyond Limits is definitely one of them. So it's one way to motivate people, one way to get them to push their limits, to try a little bit, get out of the comfort zone, and what does that do to an individual who is bedridden that can now walk a little bit, or in a wheelchair that can now enjoy the outdoors? Um, I'm simply going to ask, how does it make you feel to know that you've achieved this versus just sit back and say, I wish I could do this? Now you can actually say, you've done it. So, yeah, this is, for me, Beyond Limits is making people achieve their dreams when they have all these wishes but they don't want to follow through with them. You're able to push them through and give them the motivation so that they can push themselves. It's inspiring and it's motivational.
Is it relevant for people not just with physical challenges?
Boy, you hit a bone there, Jackie, because um, yeah, definitely, it's not about physical. I think even when somebody is incapacitated, the limits of their capacity is mental. It's what their mind tells them. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. I'll never do that. It's mental. Set your mind to it, and in your situation where the legs are not just going to take off and walk for you, what do? You adapt. We've talked about this many times, adapting. And how do you adapt? You use somebody else's legs. Okay? So, to get the same feeling. But, in the meantime, we need to make equipment that is going to fit the bill, because using somebody's legs means you're using somebody's back as well. And um, so, to answer that question, it's not only about physical inabilities, it's about mental as well. Pushing yourself, motivating yourself, getting yourself to move forward and move ahead.
So you've been a part of this for years now.
A couple of years.
You continue to be involved. Why?
Why do I keep... And Jackie, I've been helping people my entire life. And I hate it when somebody says, I wish I could do that. When somebody says, geez, Al, you do such nice work. I wish I could do that. Then come to my shop. I'll show you how to do it. I've always done that. And I'm saying, okay, this is something I can do, is to help people out. Okay. Here with Beyond Limits, again, there's no difference. I enjoy doing this because it's helping people, but that's my way of going beyond my limits.
You anticipate my question.
Okay.
Yeah. So it also takes you beyond your limits.
Oh, absolutely. I read the letter that you sent me, that email, and I'm saying, this is not about Al. It really isn't. Um, Maybe I am pushing my limits by doing what I did to help you out, and it's not only to help you out, but it's to help you help others out. That
Mm-hmm.
snowball effect again is coming into play. I'm a heck of a carpenter. I truly enjoy my woodwork, and I like to be creative that way. And then I can sit back and look at it, and oftentimes glance at my customer, and I can see the smiles on their faces, because this is not what they envisioned, but this is exactly what they wanted. They couldn't see it, but this is what they wanted. So they told me what they wanted. And I told them, might not be able to do it, or maybe I can. There's things that I can't do, and I hate being challenged with something that I think I can't do. Okay, so when you ask me how do we get up on Mount Katahdin, I'm saying piggyback. How else? We'll put you in a backpack. We'll slide you in. We'll cut holes for your legs. Now it's got to be more comfortable than that. So, and having worked with you at your home to adapt your home for your situation, I was very familiar with you, so it was an easy transition into building that. And the wheelchair is the same thing. I would never have built a wheelchair on my own. I would have never built a carrier on my own. I had no need for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not quite sure who said it, but it was, necessity is the mother of invention. I think it was Franklin. But this is what it is. Necessity, the mother of invention. So you still have creative people, okay, that will take on a challenge and go beyond their limits. So is it just physical? No. It's mental as well. See, I don't have any physical incapabilities or incapacities at this point, knock on wood. But to know people like you are out there wanting to help people, it's comforting to know that the inevitable, when I become incapacitated, uh, hopefully there'll be people following in your footsteps to make life that much better for me. So why do I do it? Maybe I'm a little selfish, but we plan for retirement. Guess what? We plan ahead. So yeah, this for me is helping other people. So hopefully people can help me when the time comes. Why not? It's a swap. I can do it now. They can do it later. Uh, do I expect that? No. Would it be nice? Yeah. It would be. So
So my last of my little questions is, and again, we've touched upon this quite a bit, but that what you take away from being a part of it, what you gain. So I mean, you've got this hope maybe that you're paying it forward and you're helping other people, but if somebody said to you, Al, what are you getting out of this? I mean, you do all this work, you do all this design and everything. What does it do for you?
it just touches the heart. Again, this is something that I can lend to somebody. To me, that's what I get out of it. Can I put my name on that and say I did that? Yeah, absolutely. But can I take full credit for it? No, because I would have never done that on my own. Okay, so somebody had to challenge me. Okay, what do I get out of it? I get the fact that it's actually not wasted. It's an effort that was made and is being used, and that's all I want out of it. That's all I want. It's gonna, again, if it gets used, somebody's gonna see it. It's gonna inspire somebody to do something different because this is not perfect by no means.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
And it probably always will be. Yeah.
Yeah. And adaptation. This will need to be so flexible for so many different people. And the only way that we can do that is if we use it. So while we're using it, I know people are moving with it and they're being affected. So that's what I get out of it. For me, that's it. Uh, there's no hierarchy here. I did this because I could, and because I wanted to challenge myself. Um, because as much as this is a challenge for you, this was a challenge for me. So the parallels are there. You know, there they might not be for the same reason. Whether it's pushing your limits or pushing my limits, we're still both going beyond limits, one way or another, physically, mentally. You know, uh, there was some physical stuff in there too. Pounding my fingers. Metal splinters are a real pain in the boot. Yeah. Um, but those happen. you know. And then we found out that's how you take the barb off a fishing hook to get the splinters out. Well, a challenge. It was definitely a challenge. And why did I? Exactly, for the challenge. Why did I do it? For the challenge. And for the reward, which is allowing somebody else to challenge themselves. That's it for me.
Anything that you want to add?
Just for clarity, I'm going to say, because I got to get that off my chest, I never would have done this. Never would have built a wheelchair if it wasn't for you. So it's not me, it's you. And it's you pushing. And you do the same thing to your students. You do the same thing to your students. Does it make us better people? Absolutely. can I say that I'm better today than I was 2 years ago, knowing you? Yes, but there's times I wish I didn't know you. But, yeah, I just had to throw that in there, Jackie. You know, but yeah, the challenge is there, and the challenge continues, and we'll be hopeful that it does continue. That's all we can do.
Absolutely.
That's what I got, Miss Jackie.